What's going on, guys? So in this video I'm going to walk you through how you can fully customize your invoice or an estimate template so that it goes with your brand or your design guidelines of your organization. Now traditionally all softwares usually they let you move around like a couple of things like logo or the header, footer, etc. But how FieldCamp system works is we want to give you 360-degree customizability because your business has a specific workflow or a specific template you would like to follow, and that's what our early feedback from a lot of customers taught us, that hey, you know what, we need to give you guys a full customizable template and this is how you code it. So what you will do is you'll go into your FieldCamp account and then head over to the settings. In the settings there is this tab which is called document template, and when you click on that, this is the place where you can manage your invoice, estimate template and more features which we are going to be releasing, like job report template in the future. Now let's say that I want to create a new template. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to say create a new template. The template's name is invoice customization, for example, that it's for the invoice, and I'll say create the design. Now I'm just going to zoom out a bit. There we go. So you will land on this screen. If you want, you can toggle off the sidebar so you have more moving space. But think of this screen as assembling an IKEA furniture. So of course, there's going to be a small learning curve on how you can move things around. There's going to be a lot of trial and testing. Like you will create a template, then you will try to create an invoice. If some things don't match up, then you come here and move it again. It's so basically what this screen teaches you is that there is multiple page formats. Like there is a letter format, there's an A4 format. So if you're printing an envelope, for instance, like an invoice for an envelope, then things might look different than you're digitally sending it. Then there is the margins, which is like how small or wide you would like the margins to be. And then lastly, there is few templates which are made for you, and you can move around it if you want, and it will just move things around within the template when you select various different templates. Now, here are the three things which are super important. So in the template, we have broken it down into a header, body, and footer, and all of them have their specific components where you can move them around. So let's say header components are like logo, image, company info, bill to, etc. Now we have got use cases like, hey, you know what, I have this logo which comes from the company settings, but I also want to add an additional image for my invoice, for instance, for some reason. Then you can just drag and drop this component over here, and basically on this small rectangle on the top part, this is how you can move it around the template or the header. Because this is a header component, it can only be added to the header. Now let's say if I want to change how it looks, for instance, like a square, small, etc., like the corner style, you can change that. Then there is the image fit, which is there, or if I just don't want it, I'm gonna delete that component. Now let's say I want to customize this template a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to make this logo a bit bigger. I have that option within the template screen, or I can just select small, medium, large if I want that from here. Now once this part is done, what you can do is you can add all the components that you want. Like for example, you don't want the invoice number, and you can delete it. But if you want some particular things to show up here, then you can add the PO number, payment terms, etc. by adding them, and that will add it to this list. You can make this a bit bigger if you want, or change the spacing for it. That's also a customization which is available. And lastly, there is one more important thing. So we data stamp everything that is happening on FieldCamp. So what I mean by that is, if you add a client, for instance, we know who created your client within the organization. So if you have a 40 people team, 50 people team, you want to keep track of who is doing what, then we do track that. And what you can do is in the template, you can add the team info, which means that the person who creates the invoice or estimate, their name comes on the template. So that is also an option which is available. Now there is body components, which are only two of them. One is line items, like the line items field, and there is the totals field. In case you are like, I don't want to show quantity, I just want to show the rate or the amount, you can hide the quantity from here, and if you want to show it, just keep it like that. You can change the order of things if you want by dragging and dropping it. So like if you want the amount to go like quantity to come up, for instance, then you can say that as well. In the footer, there are various options. So in the footer, there is contract. So in case you do want to add contracts in e-signatures, then you would need to add both fields, which is contract and the signature. What's going to happen is if you don't add the fields over here in the template, but while creating the invoice, you do add things to that. For example, add a contract or add a signature. It will not just show up on that particular template. And of course, there's a few things like attachments, terms and conditions, which you can add. And if you just want to add like a text or a watermark, that is also an option. Let's say I want to add a watermark to my screen actually. And what I want it to be like is I want to have that behind the line items view. And for the watermark, the opacity is what, like how light or dark it's gonna be. And then I can either add a text, which is like, hey, what's the watermark text? Or I can say that I want an image and I'm going to upload an image to this watermark. That is also an option, and you can also rotate it a bit, however that you want, basically. And opacity is just how light or dark in the background it's gonna be shown. Based on this, you get an idea that this is going to be a lot of playing around. First of all, that you will try to add things, remove things, see how it looks, and then again come here and edit it. We have given a preview icon in case you want to preview things, then you can preview it. But the best way to do it is actually create an invoice or an estimate. Once I've saved this estimate or an invoice template by playing around assembling my IKEA furniture, for instance, then I'm going to go back to the estimate creation screen. What I'm going to do is, or invoice screen is the same UI. I'm going to select the client for who this estimate is for. Over here you will see an option document template. There you will select the template that you have made, or if you have multiple templates, the one you want to apply in this case. I'm just going to add a few line items over here. If I want any terms and conditions, I can do that, or any notes that and I'll just save it out. Once this is saved, the template which you have made will be shown, and then you can send it to the customer. Now there's a few things. If you think that, hey, for instance, that this is a bit too crammed in together, there's no alignment, etc. It's not the system's error, it's just like how you would have organized the template. That's exactly how it comes up over here. So if you don't like things like the logo alignment, you just need to be like, hey, I want to move this logo to a bit left. Then, the reason most things are not coming here because I have not entered them in the first place when I was creating the estimate. And then I want to increase the spacing for it. So you can make these changes first and then again retry to create an estimate or edit this estimate. The best recommended method is trial and error, of course. So keep trying to make the template if you are customizing it. If you are selecting the default templates that we give, like 4 or 5 options, then you don't need to do a lot of moving around. You can just move like logo or something around. But if you are fully like customizing the template 360 degree, then of course you would have to do a lot of trial and error. If you need any help customizing your document templates, then let us know by contacting us at support. But hope this video was helpful and you get an idea of how the document customization feature in FieldCamp works. Thank you.